Okay, so if some people remember, last year I put together a spread, like you're gonna remember, I put together this spreadsheet to try to predict in certain markets how many houses were going to sell by the end of the year. And the intent of doing that was that when we were in the market, having a better understanding of if I'm working with a seller, where we should list a house, if we're working with a buyer, how competitive we need to be in drafting an offer. And obviously 2023 is over, and I just pulled up this spreadsheet and wanted to just run through kind of a couple things with you. And I got this new ring light thing, so like I wanted to check it out. Anyway, so here's like what happened. Okay, Whitefish Bay. And Whitefish Bay I paid the most attention to last year because we had a lot of business in Whitefish Bay last year. On April 16th, the market was super slow. There had only been 26 home sales by April 16th, which was the lowest that Whitefish Bay had ever seen in the past 20 years. And so I took, you know, by that date, how many have sold over the past 20 years and created like a little equation, whatever, it worked. And tried to predict. And at that time, the prediction was that 126 houses were going to sell in Whitefish Bay. Okay. Then I did it again on May 25th. Just like a couple weeks later, we were up to 147. Why would the prediction go up? Well, that actually checks. That makes sense because a lot of people are going to put their house on the market between April 16th and the end of May. Okay, cool. By October 16th, the prediction was that 154 houses would sell. Last year, guess how many houses sold in Whitefish Bay? Drum roll. 162 houses. So what does that tell us? That it went from 126 to 147 and 154 as a prediction, and ended up that 164 homes ended up selling. Well, the market was completely depleted in April of 2023, and the inventory began to grow, and the inventory started to catch up with the demand, which is why the prediction went higher. So if you were a seller and you wanted to pinpoint like the perfect time to have sold your house in 2023, chances are it probably would have been in like March or April of last year. Now, let's move to Fox Point, neighbor of Whitefish Bay, just north. April 16th of last year, the prediction was that in Fox Point, 121 homes would sell, which would have actually been up from 2022. In 2022, 117 homes sold. But here's what's interesting. By October 16th, the prediction went down to 93 homes. So why would Fox Point be selling more in the spring, and then why would it start to slow down going into fall and the next year? I have, I think, a pretty good explanation for that, which is on April 16th, Whitefish Bay had absolutely zero inventory. Where are people going to want to move to if they cannot get into Whitefish Bay, but they really want to be in the North Shore? They have two options, Shorewood or Fox Point. So it would make sense that at that time you would see Fox Point be a little bit more in demand. By the end of the year, Fox Point had closed 104 listings at the end of 2023. So that puts us in the realm of like the year 2012 when 102 houses sold. And I've got one other I wanted to talk about, which is Wauwatosa. And that was for the amount of houses that sell in Wauwatosa. That was almost the most accurate predictor that I had all year. So on April 16th of last year, the prediction was that 498 houses would be selling in Wauwatosa. And on October 16th, The prediction was 490. I mean, so pretty close considering how many home sales there are in Wauwatosa. And the actual amount of homes that sold and closed in Wauwatosa in 2023 were 501. So I think it's pretty cool. I nerded out about it. I'm working on putting the Corcoran view together, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to like weave this stuff in there. But in a market where I think a lot of us feel lost, I find comfort in numbers. And when you feel like you don't know what's happening or what's going on, if you are able to pull numbers and make sense out of the numbers, you get a better idea of what's happening. So it's not a surprise that pretty much, I would say the majority of realtors, like everyone's numbers were down last year because there were literally less homes selling. Like, for instance, in Wauwatosa in 2022, 686 houses sold. In 2023, 501 houses sold. In Fox Point, I just told you how 117 sold in 2022 and then 104 sold in 2023. And in Whitefish Bay in 2022, there were a total of 247 homes that sold and just 162 last year. That's a lot less homes selling. So, this was the ring light. What? Okay.